Temecula, California school board caves and approves controversial LGBTQ curriculum after threats of $1.5 million fine. From who? Yours truly,
the
Governor
man.
Newsom. Yeah. Let me read this to you. Friendly people of California, the conservative Temecula Valley Unify School District's board in Riverside County, California, initially rejected a social studies curriculum for grades 1 through 5 that included discussions about the life of Harvey Milk. I don't know if you've seen the images, what this Harvey Milk guy did, what he's all about.
With underage boys, too.
Yes.
That was his persona.
First openly gay elected official in California due to concerns about his alleged inappropriate behavior around teenagers. Governor Gavin Newsom intervened and threatened the school board with a $1.5 million fine for not adhering to a 2011 California law that mandates teaching about LGBTQ historical figures in school, fearing that financial burden of a lawsuit, and the school's board reversed its decision and unanimously approved the use of the textbook Social Studies Alive with some modifications to ensure age-appropriate content. Okay, so what does this mean? Here's what this means. Let me tell you what this means. You know, to all the parents who are fighting, whether it's in Glendale, whether it's in Camarillo, whether it's in LA, whether it's in Hollywood, whether it's in Bakersfield, whether it's in all these different counties, right? Temecula is a conservative county. Mm-hmm. Temecula agrees with the conservative parents. And even Temecula, being the fact that it's a conservative county, caved. And they couldn't fight off the bully named Governor Newsom, Gavin Newsom. So what's the next step? You have a few different choices. Here's the choices you got. A parent can sit there and say the following. They can say, I'm not going anywhere. No problem. I'm going to fight this fight. Perfect. Let's process that together. How long is this fight going to take you to win? 5 to 10 years? Let's say 10 years. By that time, your 7-year-old is 17. They're already been indoctrinated.
Finished.
By that time, your 11-year-old is gone. Guess what? Whatever indoctrination they wanted to do to groom your kid, they've succeeded. You lost. Just so you know, you lost. So now, but what do you want me to do, Pat? What do you want me to do? You got homeschooling, you got private school, or you got get the hell out of California. Mark Wahlberg, who's a Hollywood superstar, loved by everybody, moved to Nevada, okay? Rogan moved to Austin. Musk moved to Austin because he didn't like what they were doing to his headquarters in Tesla. You got, who else? You got golfers left there to come to Florida. I can't give you a name. Tiger, Phil, plenty of names. Many athletes quietly behind closed doors are leaving, yet these parents are sitting there saying, no, I think they're going to do this. I think they're going to do this. The pain isn't there yet. There needs to be such a massive, listen, okay, so look what UPS, let UPS be the inspiration to you. These people went on a strike with UPS, and all of a sudden, what happens? They went on a strike. They got a $30 billion agreement that took the average rate to $49 an hour for a full-time employee working at UPS. The minimum wage for a part-time employee is $21 an hour, 3 times the national minimum. The federal minimum is $7.20. UPS got $21. Okay, California, if you truly want to do something, what about if we do this? What about if there's a national strike with parents? You guys do a massive Zoom together, and you do the following. How many of us are teachers? How many of us are good at math? How many of us are good at this? How many of us are good at that? Take the lead, do homeschooling with your kids, create environments where they can go to school, okay? Go raise money on a GoFundMe, okay? And have somebody that's trusted that we can give money to that's going to manage this whole thing. And let's raise money, and all of a sudden, imagine school days, August 15th is first day, or 16th. By the way, we were going to do an event in Glendale.
Yeah.
It's so competitive, like some counties and districts are fighting the other districts, but we're the ones that started it.
Yeah.
We're the ones that, I said, listen, guys, ladies, I'm not here to compete. If this is about competition, I'm about wanting to do something for the entire state. You guys figure this thing out. If you guys all want to unite, let's come in and fill in a place with 3,000-4,000 people. I'm paying for it. I'm coming to you, and they're like, we're coming to you. We're not asking you to come Florida. I'm taking 2 days of my life to come to you to do this stuff I want to do to help you guys out. But rather than competing against each other, what if everybody unified, all districts, and said, who cares if your video went viral? Mine went more viral than yours. Who gives a shit, right? What if we all unified and we showed unity. This is why Newsom wins, because if all these districts are competing against each other, Newsom's like, look at these guys.
Yeah.
They're going to eat each other up. They're worried about whose video went more viral while I'm winning over here, and I'm finding you guys, and you guys are caving. You ain't got that much power there. You think you do, but I flip it on them. Watch this. Let's all unify. Tom, what would happen if day one of school, if all of these parents that are concerned, their kids just didn't show up to school? And not one, not 100, not 1,000, not 10,000. What if 50,000 kids didn't show up to school?
Wow. Bye.
What if that was a statewide message to the entire, by the way, to the parents watching this that are fighting their fight? You guys got some audacity, courage. I salute you for what you're doing. At the highest level, the ladies I spoke to, there was a couple of these ladies, I'm like, oh my God, I love her fight. Man, she's a boss. She's a dog. She's a competitor. I'm loving her the way. But ladies, gents, come together. All districts. Your enemy is not another district that's doing a better job than you on their Instagram account.
Yeah.
What if you all come together, okay, and you show 10, 20, 50, 100,000? Let me tell you why this is your time to do it. Let me tell you. You got 3 weeks, by the way, to be thinking about this together. Let me tell you why this is the time to do it. You know why this is the perfect time to do it? What does Newsom want to do in the next 12 months?
He wants to be the president.
He wants to be the president. And who is his biggest enemy he's targeting and bashing on a weekly basis? A guy named Ron DeSantis. Well, guess what, Governor Newsom? If parents, fathers, mothers, pastors, priests of Catholic Church, if you guys come out together in front of his office in Sacramento, I don't know, you guys all roll up.
Do it.
In front. And you do this for 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 days. You can afford 30 days. And by the way, some of you guys that got kids that are 6 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, if these kids, Tom, when does GPA really start mattering for college? 9th grade or 10th grade?
8th to 9th, now it really matters.
When do colleges start looking at your GPA to determine, like, will they say you had bad grades in 8th grade and we're not going to accept you?
The body of work starts in 9th grade, and if those kids have a weak middle school, 9th grade always sucks.
Okay, so let's just say 9th grade. You know what that means? They're targeting kids that are in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade.
All of them.
You know what? This is going to sound crazy to me. If my kid doesn't go to school for a month and it's in 6th grade, and I can fight to protect my kids from being taught these nonsense videos of this is normal, a boy giving another boy a blowjob, I'm sorry, man. I'm going to take my kid out for a month, and I'm going to rally thousands of other people to do the same. Hey, Newsom, what do you want to do about it? Problems in your state, homeboy. What are we doing about it now? Now we got national attention. Now everybody is talking about it. Now he has to do something, and he can't go around threatening a conservative community like Temecula to say $1.5 million fine where they're cornered to have to cave. Because what are they going to do? These school districts don't have a lot of money.
Nope.
We have to pay that $1.5 million.
Which is why they're against vouchers, because you put the voucher in the hand of the parents. School vouchers, Pat, you see what happens? I'm pulling my kids, I'm pulling this. It puts the economic power with those parents, voucher states.
And by the way, again, it was such a weird dynamic when I talked to all of them. Everybody I spoke to of different school district, everybody in one way or another would throw a comment of, we're the first ones that did this, right?
Yeah.
You know what the first ones that did this, right? We're the first this. I'm like, guys, honestly, I don't care. I went to Glendale. That's my pride and joy because I went to that school. I got great memories there. But Glendale ain't going to change shit alone because the guy that's running the whole thing is a governor. You got to get his attention. And to get his attention, we got to get 100 districts, 50 districts to come together. And if you make that kind of a noise during election year,
forget it.
Joe's calling saying, hey, Governor Newsom, what are you doing to fix this thing here? Okay, I don't know if Joe would be calling. Obama would probably be calling and saying, hey, what are you doing to fix this thing here? Anyways, I think if there's ever been an opportunity for California to really stand up, because this is a message only to those that don't want to leave the state of California. They do not want to leave the state of California. You don't want to leave the state of California? Well, let's show up. Because your alternative is to say, I'm leaving, I'm out. So either an exodus or guess what?
You fight.
You fight.
You got to fight.
But if you stay in the middle, these guys are, like the other day somebody said, why would you ever bring Anthony Weiner to the podcast and da-da-da-da-da-da-da? Why would you ever do that? I got so many calls about Anthony Weiner. So funny. One day, Anthony Weiner, I love the way Pat fought. Next day, Chris Cuomo, hey, Chris Cuomo. Listen, Anthony Weiner comes in, and I said, guys, you have to realize, if you get into a wrestling match with
you mud wrestle with a pig.
Mud wrestle with a pig.
You're going to get mud on. You're going to get dirty.
And they love it.
And guess what? I have no problem.
Yep.
I'm not going to be the proper scared person to say, well, for me, with my three-piece suit, I'm going to sit outside because there's no way you're going to see me wrestling. No, sometimes you got to wrestle with the pig.
Yep.
And you got to get dirty. This whole thing about us being too proper to want to wrestle with a pig, you got to get in there and bully him around a little bit for him to realize and say, shit, I'm not, at the end, he starts apologizing. Nobody asks you to apologize. He starts apologizing. And then on Twitter, he says, well, he asked me 4 times to apologize. Not one time did I ever ask this guy to apologize because you're wrestling with a damn pig. Yep. That's how they are. You got to fight. You got to show up. So for me, they're already doing it. The only thing these parents are missing in California is only one thing. For all of them to get on one Zoom together and say, guys, let's unite and let's roll, okay? If they can do that, they will scare the crap out of the governor and all the other people that are bullying these great parents that all they're trying to do is raise good kids.
Yep. And if that it falls in remember the 3 people that you're talking about, the do nothing, the lazy, but all the Republicans. This isn't a left, right. This is for your kids. You guys have to step up and you got to do something. Bro. Imagine, I was in those Zooms. I get it. The passion is there. It's like they need a little spark and set the shit ablaze.
There was a quote during the Revolutionary War. I can't remember who said it now, which really pisses me off. I don't remember that. But it was, if we don't hang together, we will certainly hang separately.
Yeah. Well,
and they were talking about going up against the British.
By the way,
that's the way this goes. Do you want to be hung out on your kid? If you don't hang together, you're all going to be stuck
There it
separately.
is. You're right. Benjamin Franklin. We must indeed all hang together.
I like
or
that, dude.
most assuredly, we shall all hang separately.
Wow,
you're right.
That's dope.
By the way, you know what is crazy? There was a guy I worked with 20 years ago. Guy's name was Swan, okay? The guy is known as the best in his industry and what he does. A lot of respect for this man. He would say, unify, simplify, multiply, okay? So Californians must first unify, then they must simplify a message in all the different districts, then they must multiply. Unify, simplify, multiply. Unify, simplify, multiply. If they do that, the whole reason why the greatest team in the last decade is a team called Golden State Warriors, they have a very famous saying, strength in numbers. Strength in numbers. You unify, you will scare the crap out of them. I'll never forget, I was recruiting guys to come to PHP, insurance, selling insurance. And it was the best to hear what the competitor was saying about us, okay? And there was a CEO of this company, big company, massive company. He would say, look, you can go anywhere. We will not sue you. There's only one company you go to. We will sue you. And they would say, I don't know why they keep telling me. But what they don't realize is, they were saying this to 50 other people, and they were all calling me first.
Wow.
So, you just can't go with Pat. You can go anywhere. You can't go with Pat. You can go anywhere. We will not do anything to you. But if we find out you go with Pat, we're suing you. What were they fearing? Strength in numbers. They knew if these guys were more divided, it's easier to compete when people are divided because this game is a very, very hard game. They don't want to see different people unify with each other. Just think about the state of government, California. They don't want to see different districts unify with each other. They want to see all the bickering, fighting, we're better, you're better, our Instagram has more followers than yours, our videos go more viral than yours, and you copied us, and that's our hashtag, and don't we use our hashtag? No, they want to be able to say, can we agree that we all have a common enemy? Yes, who's the common enemy? The governor at the top that's ruining these things for us. Yes, great. Why don't we unify, simplify, multiply against a common enemy, which is who? The governor.
Yeah. They divide and conquer. You got to do what you said.
And
unify and get together.
Did you see the video CNN made yesterday?
No.
Can you pull up my Twitter profile? You didn't see the video CNN made yesterday trying to trash DeSantis?
No, I didn't.
As if it's a bad thing. You're going to watch this video thinking these guys are trying to trash DeSantis.
What's the context?
You have to see this video. It's comical. And I said, this is probably the best, right there, that one right there, the second one. This is probably the best ad. This is a better ad than any ad DeSantis' camp has done. Yeah. CNN has done a better camp. a marketing ad for Ron DeSantis. Watch this. Just play the first minute. Watch this clip here. They're trying to trash DeSantis.
We just thought it would be a nice, warm place to live where we could get to beaches.
I just never thought that I would have to flee a state for the good of my children.
Flee, keyword, flee.
The SB 254, this will permanent outlaw the mutilation of minors.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, good job.
Makes sense.
This isn't a sketch, Pat. This is real.
This is a real video
I
from
remember
CNN.
Tori coming to me one time and in tears, which she doesn't normally do.
It's a boy.
And
It's a boy.
I asked her what was wrong, and she said DeSantis. And like the fact that a governor would be making my kid cry, that's a messed up government. We're absolutely moving because of
there's a great
the
state
political
for you.
climate
This
and
is
the
a
laws
sketch.
in Florida. We didn't want to move. When the Florida Board of Medicine started meeting, and we realized that they were going to ban gender-affirming care for our kids, that we might need to leave because that is life-saving, essential medicine and treatment for our daughter.
Oh,
I was
My
very
Can you
relieved.
pause it? By the way,
Time-
does it actually look like it's a comedy
I think
sketch?
it's a comedy. I swear to
I'm
God.
waiting for the
Pat,
punchline.
guys, I'm not joking.
By the way,
I thought this is a comedy sketch.
This goes like this the entire time, and the girl said that the boy says, "I can't take puberty blockers. I can't take it in this state. I can't live here. We gotta leave." So,
Oh
this.
my
But
God,
by
that's
the way,
I'm waiting for, and we'd like to thank
But
the inventor
by the
of
way-
the dick saw.
By the way, this is the best time. This is the best time for parents in California to unite.
Yeah,
You
I
could
agree.
lead a movement in the entire country. I have a feeling if they unite and actually bring some pain to the state, other states are going to have to cave. This is how it works. Other states will cave and say, damn, we better do something about this.
You
here."
think you think they will though, Pat? Like with
I-
people like you having the telling people like
I-
it's your kids. This isn't like
Dude, listen, don't mess with Armenians. Armenians are a very weird community.
100%, I love them.
You saw the Statista report that shows the top 10 angriest countries in
Armenians
the world?
are number 3.
Number 1 is Lebanon. Number 2 is Turkey. Number 3 is Armenia.
Armenians don't play games.
But you know who else won't? Conservative Hispanics.
yeah, like a
Conservative
Ricky,
Hispanics won't play.
like Ricky.
You know who else won't play? Conservative African Americans. They won't play. The conservative African Americans don't agree with what's going on here right now. They just don't publicly talk about it because they're Democrats. There's a lot of people that this is not just Armenians. This is Hispanics. This is African Americans. This is good Christian valued white Americans that want to do. There are a lot of people that are sitting there saying this is nonsense. One of the families that send me videos, this is the challenge though. They send a video and they send it to my sister. And they sent it to Mario. They said, "We want you to come and we would love to have you here, but the only thing we have for you is we don't want to be any other agenda, but just to talk about this." I mean, this is not your show. There is an agenda. You know what the agenda is?
Yeah.
Here's the agenda. Vote accordingly. Yeah. Okay. The agenda is start really studying what policies are causing this because you're living in California. You've been voting the same exact way. You're not happy with what's going on, but you're saying there shouldn't be any agenda. There should be an agenda. The agenda is vote accordingly. Bad policies ruin great states. You lost the GOAT of business the last 30 years. Elon Musk left.
Bye.
You lost the GOAT of podcasts in the last 20 years. Joe Rogan left. You're losing people that are liberals. Rogan's not a Republican. Musk is not a Republican. They left the state they love because the policies no longer matter. Mark Wahlberg, Hollywood left. So I think there's a big opportunity. I didn't say it's going to be easy. And the same thing with Iran. You know, we're sitting on, we're like, well, you need to go out there and do this, and you need to go out there and do that, you need to go out there and do this. Listen, you're not in Iran, the fear of doing anything with your kids. The only difference here is the harming of your kids, okay? They can't do anything. This is not Iran. There are laws. We have social media. People are seeing this. Document the hell out of it. Have a camera everywhere. Citizen journalism everywhere. Let people show what Antifa is all about. I saw a girl that said something. I thought it was great. She says, I'm not worried about Antifa. I faced against an Antifa member. They were scared of us. We don't need no Mongols and these guys and Mara Salvatrucha, now Christian, change their lives. People to show up. These Antifa people are not tough people. They're weak. She's right. But they've scared the crap out of you to the point where an Alex Theater and a Hilton in Glendale is not willing to do it. No. And unfortunately, those are two of the biggest places you can do those events. Anyways.
Do you remember when we had Nikki Fried on the podcast?
I sure do.
She was running for governor. She lost to Charlie Crist. She was running against Ron DeSantis, essentially.
Yeah.
And you remember the argument that she made? I'm like, so tell me why you're going to beat Ron DeSantis. Like, what's your message if you were going to be his opponent? She eventually lost to Charlie Crist, who got lampooned by DeSantis by
Not
20
even close.
points.
Yeah.
And she's like, you have no idea. And by the way, respect to her for coming on the podcast.
Big time.
Respect. So I'm not like trying her, but her argument made no sense. She's like, you have no idea how many people I talk to that want to leave this state and they're fleeing the state because of Ron DeSantis's cruel, inhumane, anti-woke agenda. I'm like, yeah, no, you don't.
Yeah, not
You know, like
You know
a
what I
hand-
told her to do?
Yeah.
Remember what I told her to do? I said, who? Who? Why don't you
name
go
names.
do an interview?
Yeah.
Name names.
Yeah,
I want to meet
exactly.
some. I said, give me one name. Go ahead.
Yeah.
couldn't give you
No,
one.
because
No
it's
shit.
the boogeyman.
Yeah.
Ron DeSantis, you know, whether he wins for president or not, that's another conversation.
Definitely
But
not,
landslide here in Florida.
Yeah.
And we're speaking of the CNN commercial. It's like how minute of an audience is a transgender teen parent considering leaving the state because of DeSantis' draconian law. It's like
it's insane.
You're coming down to the lowest common denominator that nobody cares about.
I thought there was a set designer that put empty boxes in the dude that
No.
that. By the way, and Joey just messaged me. I'm doing a sketch making fun of that. That is brilliant comedy. Yeah.
Let's move
hilarious.
on. Let's move on.
Go.
But I give these parents a D for the following reasons. Obviously, that young person has got some emotional things
When you
going
say
on.
these parents, let's qualify. The CNN parents.
The
is
CNN
what's-
parents
Parents.
here,
Yes.
Tiffany and Kelly McKee.
Wait, Tiffany and Kelly? They're both.
Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
I don't get
Let's
it.
go.
They're both
We're
female
We're going to
names.
move on, but
Go ahead.
I'm making a point here. I give these people a D for two reasons. Number one, it's obviously that young person, their son that now identifies as female, it says it's got something going on and needs counseling. And there are great counselors out there to figure out what's going on. Are you just gay? What's going on here? And the second thing is these parents are not doing that, so they're not supporting the true need of the child, number one. And number two, they're teaching him, now her, to run. And they're not sitting down to face these things of life. And I give them a D for that. It's not about trans that I'm saying. It's not about anything. What I'm saying is these parents are getting a D in my book. You teach them to run. And now you'll be in New York. You won't like that. Where do you run next?
His father's
And then you
name
won't
is
like
Kelly.
Vermont.
His
Where do you
father's-
run next?
When I saw the father's-
run.
The moment I saw the father's name is Kelly, I was like, okay, it's a wrap. It's over.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.